All right, welcome back. This is MDawg. Let's adjust things a little bit here. We're continuing on our leveling guide. Now, remember, we are at level 10 now, and we very much want to hit level 11 while spin fishing because of the actual reward it gives us. And so we're going to try to do this. And what I've done is, let's just start with like 18. What I have done is I've purchased a couple of things here. So we're using a fishing spark for now, at least. On the very starter rod, you get this sucker for free when you first begin the game. So we've not purchased anything here or here. Both of these were included when we first started. I'm using 3.5 line, but 3.2 leader. I am putting a fluorocarbon leader on here to try to help with the bite rate. And we're using a Hornet 1005. We've got a couple other options as well. Notice that our test goes from 2 to 10. So as long as the lure weight is from 2 to 10, we should be able to cast it pretty good. Do we have any points currently? We have 1 point. So let's put this in spinning reel since we're going to be doing some casting with our spinning reel. And we can come back and maybe try. I think there's oftentimes there's perch that you can catch right there at that spot where you spawn in at. But I want to go down here to the corner. There's so much activity with other fish down here at the corner and winding. Now, to get from 10 to level 11, no small feat, considering I don't know what kind of bite rate we're going to get or if we're going to catch anything other than perch to kind of speed the leveling along, but we'll be able to tell pretty quick. This is also a spot. I've caught some fish in this spot as well, so maybe we'll remember to come back and try that too. But the first thing on my mind is this spot up here. So the whole goal here is to hit level 11 on a fish that we're spin fishing, so that we get the prize that's associated with hitting 11 while spin fishing. And I believe that's a pretty nice rod that we can then use at Belaya. I could be wrong, I may be wrong, we'll see. Anywhere in here is kind of what I'm thinking. Oh, we still don't have a, let's cast actually just right over here at this. So we're just gonna let it drift for a minute, and then we're gonna pull it back towards us. With the current and with the fact we're using a spinnerbait, I don't think we need to do anything other than just straight retrieval. We could occasionally speed up by holding shift down. Ooh, that's a good sign. Very quick bite rate. Hopefully that will continue. Now, is this a perch? It is a perch. So let's see. See if the bar moves at all. True iron. So let's see, this is 229 XP. Oh yeah, it moved a little bit. So 16 meter cast, by the way. So between that, catching perch like that, and then maybe every once in a while getting something that's a little bit more worthwhile, maybe this is a reasonable thing we're trying to do. Okay, there's a little bite. Now that is not a perch. That's a little eyed for 166 XP. So far 18 retrieval speed has worked okay. Now I'll show you this time if we don't get a bite pretty quick. If I hold down shift, you'll see speed up comes up in the bottom left hand right above the line, kind of where our left arm is down there above the line. And that gives you another sort of attractant to the predator, the fact that you're getting that speed up built in. So just if you hold down shift every once in a while, you get that as a part of your retrieval. Okay, so let's move up here. I think I want to try casting right around here. Try a couple other spots. 18. I guess we could speed up or slow down a little bit. We're not getting super far casts, so if with retrieval speed got up to too high, we might have less of a chance of pulling something in. So the reason why I chose this lure, this Hornet 005, it was on the weekly list for Chub, I think. I saw it on something. And I also recognize that this Hornet, along with some other ones, as well as some of the other small spinnerbaits, works really well at Belaya at times. And so that's kind of my hope that, we'll be able to use it here, but as long as we don't lose it, a pike could bite us off technically. But by the way, this lure costs 45 silver, so it's going to take a while to catch enough fish to actually catch up with the cost of the lure. Hopefully we will be able to do that. But it's serving a purpose for us right now. And, I don't know what this fish is. What's the worst case scenario fish this size? Maybe that it's an asp, like a really small asp, and then it might not be worth much XP. Other than that, I feel like this is going to be a pretty nice fish. Best case scenario may be for us to find a way to get into some chub. Like some decent chub might be sort of the sweet spot of trying to have some fun spin fishing and also have a chance of like hitting that level 11. Whatever this is, it's not happy, and I'm really worried that it's because of our low skill points. I'm worried with such little control of fish that he's gonna be able to get away from us. Don't want him to unhook. We get him up to the surface. We're also using the current to our advantage. I mean, he is upstream and we are downstream from him, so he is naturally going to want to come towards us, but he is fighting still. And we're getting him pretty close. I don't love letting it sit in the red like that, but I think the longer this goes, the more chances he could get off. So trying to push it a little bit here. He's starting to get a little bit tired maybe. We never have gotten him surfaced. He has been able to stay just below the surface this whole time. I so want to know what it is, and we should be getting there right now. There he is. What is that? Is that an asp? I think it's a nice chub, but look at him just exactly pulling strong enough to swim away from us. That's why this has been so hard. Yeah, it's a chub, right? That's a nice chub. Wow. What a fish. Okay. Boy, that was not easy, and we did not get that much XP. We're going to be doing this a while, but that was fun. And yeah, that was a nice fish, and that was a fun fight. That was actually a lot of fun. And that's the fish I was looking for. Although maybe it didn't give quite as much XP as I was kind of thinking it might. But, I mean, we are entering into the part of the game where it does take longer and longer to level up. So you just kind of have to relax and not worry about it too much. Let's find a channel that's at least we can sort of understand the language that is being spoken in this channel. I go down to 15. Then I may try up at 25. A lot of times for me, 25 can be the sweet spot, but tell me how the volume is, by the way, if you think about it on this video. I think someone had commented that the volume was too low on a previous video, but I think it was the one, it wasn't a leveling one, it was a regular video I'd done about copper. And it may have just been that when I was recording it, I might have been sort of just being a little more quiet. I think my levels are pretty good as I look at them. So yeah, let me know if you think different as you see the levels. All right, let's try to cast right in between here. This is certainly a spot where we have fished before in the past. And let's go up to 25. Let's get things moving a little bit here. This means I probably won't do speed up if we're up at 25 per normal. Ooh, there we go. It would be nice just to have a little bit more consistent bite rate if we can find it and tweak the speed a little bit. Is that a chub? It is. So here's another. All right, so we're at 369K. This gives us 163. Yeah, so that's a marker, and you can tell those are not worth, actually that might not be worth any more than the perch. It's just that first chub we caught was a decent size one. So these are pretty low XP fish. I wasn't sure, because I spin fish not that often at this low level, and so I don't really have a feel for, there's a non-marker chub. At least we're catching fish. One thing I like now is that we're leveling up spin fishing. This is one of the valuable parts of doing this early, is to go ahead and start leveling up your spin fishing. It just allows you to use a more variety of lures down the line, especially once you get to Quarry Lake. You want to be able to do that. So we're getting a little bit of a head start, which I like. Okay, I think we're in a nice little spot here. Found some chub. Go down so that that's not just sitting in the red. Okay, so this is a good reminder. If you can see the red hook there, we are actually snagged. This is not a fish. And so I guess we need to, let's see. We don't want to pop it if possible, because we would like to keep the lure. So if I can't get it in a second here, we will just travel. If you fast travel, it resets. So we'll travel to Mosquito and back. Now, if you do this long enough, you probably will eventually get it. I just don't want to take a chance. Honestly, it's just, this is such a expensive lure, and these reels are so cheap. Honestly, they're just so cheap. There is a part of me that thinks about buying a nicer reel. You know, technically we could afford this. Just a little 2,000. It'd just be slightly better. Now we'll end up with some Lacertes when we get those. Lacertes would be nicer too. All right, let's go back to winding. Let's do check the store, the cafe real quick. I'm just curious if, oh wait, first of all, 18 silver, so we're not there yet on earning the cost of this. Okay, we could get this perch order done, maybe. So I don't know if y'all remember, but in the old tutorial, it would often have us fish like over in this part of the world for perch. So let's just see if any directions here are catching any perch. And if not, we'll, before the afternoon hours get away from us, we'll head back down to where we were catching those chub. That seemed like a good spot. I'm just gonna have to be careful of that snag as best I can. And I'll pause the video. If we get to nighttime, like spin fishing is just no fun at night. So I'll probably just, oh, look at that. Okay, that fish just got away. That was such a cool moment though, because it kind of shows you how this game works. If you are spin fishing, bottom fishing, float fishing, whatever, the fish actually spawns in response to your lure. The fish isn't there until your lure attracts it into spawning. So we saw that fish and it actually spawned like almost right on top of our lure. And then unfortunately dropped right off. But that was pretty cool though, I think. All right, there's a nice perch. There's a nice perch. So let's see if we can get a little string of perch going here for that cafe order. And obviously, you know, if we weren't trying to make sure we hit the level while spin fishing, then we could totally have bottom feeders out, be bottom fishing at the same time. I just don't even want to take the chance that we catch some like weird Donitz rough or something and hit a level on that and mess up the whole plan to show you what you get by hitting level 11 while spin fishing. Quick little speed up there. But yeah, if it gets to the point where it's getting nighttime, then we'll stop. I'll pause the video and then we'll keep going once it's morning time again, I think. It's just too slow at night. And it's not like we can bottom fish for and just catch stuff at night, because then we'll end up leveling off of that. So we know there's chub and perch in this area. All right, let's try something. Let's try the Fury. This little micro lure, because this might be a perch magnet. I don't know. This is what you use during the tutorial, I think. Let's just see if we get a quick perch bite with this lure. Maybe not, but it's worth trying. We can go up to 10 grams on weight and still be casting fine in this with this setup. So we can try some of these other lures. But if it didn't get a bite first cast, I think I'm just going to switch right off of it. I wasn't sure, but I just thought that this lure might do something. How about, let's see, 4 grams, maybe this dragonfly. I remember this back in the day. This was one of the good ones. Early spinnerbait to use. They're so cheap. You don't really have to worry about like, oh, it broke off. Doesn't matter. It costs 4 silver. There's a perch. Okay. So let's see. Let's see if we can repeat this. 1, 2, 3. That's already 4 perch. So I don't know how much time's left on that perch order. If we want to just like wait and see how many non-markers we get. But if it's close to time, it might be worth just doing it. But if we spend some time at Belaya in this series, spin fishing, which I hope to, then I want to show you the trifecta of lures. And it'll be the Hornet, which is the one we have now, the red one, and the Aquila, and then the best of all is the one that I can't remember the name of at the moment. It'll come to me eventually. But that trifecta of lures, I guess the other ones you could include in that are the handmade ones, which you have to actually level up your lure crafting to make. And also the ones you get from the Christmas fair are pretty dang good. The different type of Pomar lures from Christmas fair or New Year's fair, those are really good. But all right, we've not been hitting perch with the consistency that I want to with this. Let's switch back to the Hornet really quick. We could try the Bell, but let's try the Hornet again. It's also time of day. It's like that hot part of the afternoon where the bite rate slows down. we don't catch a fish here, I actually think we should go down and because in the late afternoon, early evening is going to be a time to get a couple nice chub possibly. Ooh, there we go. If this is a perch, it's a decent one. If it's a chub, it's just average. It's a chub. It's marker, but it's not great. $16.5 meters. Now it may slow down the amount of silver we're making. It might even slow down the progression of XP, at least till we get to Belaya. But there is something fun about just standing here spin fishing. And for some of you, this is probably your favorite type of fishing. I actually like bottom fishing the best, but it is fun to be able to do this. And the fact that you can do all three types and then sea fishing later on is just amazing. Okay. Let's go. Oh man, the lure type, it just like, it almost came out of my mouth. And then I lost it again. Trifecta. Achilles, Hornets, and then the best, the one that I would have predicted I would have been able to remember the easiest. Who makes the Hornet? Zyman. I think it's also a Zyman one, right? Maybe not. Who makes it? What is it called? I'm going to look up. Once we get down here, I'm going to look up like maybe weekly trout or something. I bet it'll be one of those will be on there. The Achilles, the Hornets, and the... Wow, I cannot believe it. So weird. I know some of you are like screaming at your monitor. Where were we down here? We just don't want to get snagged. It was like right here? Yeah, I think it was. We could go right of this one. Well, then we can get snagged in this. We could go like this. Or was it here? It actually was here, wasn't it? All right, let's go to ultralight record. We could just look at winding and we'll find it. Yep, spiker. Cannot believe I forgot the spiker. All right, we've got to pull it in before it gets too far down to the log over there where it got snagged. Or we could go right of the log if we want to try that. We want to be able to let it coast a bit. Yeah, let's try that. I don't know. Not sure which is better, but 25 feels a little fast. Maybe we go back down to 18, 20, something like that. Okay. Try one more cast, and then we'll just move around again. So we're not 10.5 yet, but we have made some progress. All right, there's a fast bite. Is this a little perch or something? Yeah, we'll take a little perch. I really hope the cafe order has some time left. 17 meters. Really maxing out our casting ability here with this setup. I will speed up. Okay, we got in front of it. Just trying not to get snagged again. Okay, that's a decent little perch. 723. 17 meters again. Is that an asp? Wow. That is a very small asp. All right, we're gonna go 22. And right here. Okay. That's another asp. Now, if we get hit a big asp, we're gonna be here a while. This setup is not ready to handle a really big asp. Okay, there's a little something. Not look like a perch. Little chub. I like how that the asp hit like right when we started to reel. It was on there. All right, we're at 10.5 now, so we have made some good progress. Ooh. All right, I think we want to sort of sit with it for a minute and then make sure it's, yeah, like going upstream as much as we can. It looks like we mostly have control of it already, actually. I don't think this is going to be a super long fight. Yeah, we surfaced it already. That looks like a chub, doesn't it? Yep. Another nice little chub. Total weight fish caught in a day. 1.6 chub. So this seems like a neat little spot here. Casting to the left of those logs, not to the right of them. We've had some consistency at least. Sunny day. Drawing to the end of the afternoon. Still using this spiker because we just really don't have a lot of options at this point, at least. Oh, we snagged again. Oh, it came off. Okay. Came off. I was about to say, it's just a bummer because this is like the last couple minutes where we could get a bite before the end of the day here. All right, let's go up a little bit and let's just move down just so we a little farther away from that snag. We hit 17.5 meters. Perch. Looks like a chub, small chub. Actually, it's a small, is that an eyed? Yeah, 1 kilo eyed. We'll take that. It's a big chunk of XP for us. Man, I didn't think about that. 1 kilo eyes would be perfect. Get them in really quick and have some nice XP gains. Almost 10 p.m. $17.5. Yeah, let's try one more cast. It definitely is going to get harder and harder to get bites at this time. It is like fully nighttime. The only thing is chub do feed at night a little bit. Eyed as well. So at least in the early part of the night, I feel like you still have that shot, but it also feels like they act a little different. You'll on feeders, you'll catch chub throughout the night on grasshoppers and stuff. But it's harder to get them on lures late into the night, I think. I know I said one more, but let's just try one more sort of weird cast here. We could get snagged, but we're about to move anyway. Oh, that's actually a fish. All right, is that going to be a chub? Yeah, it's a chub. We just, I was about to say, we cast that right at the snag there. Now, the other thing we could have done, and I'm glad we didn't, you know, we've decided not to do this for now. I think we're doing the smart thing. But you can go out and troll Mosquito. There's just not as many predators at Mosquito, so it's just if you want to have an early trolling experience, which maybe we'll do that for fun, just like at some point. But you also, I would say, kind of need to have a second setup. It doesn't really make sense to troll with one. You really want to troll with two. Okay, so here's this perch order. We need 5 of them. This is pretty much perfect. I mean, we're getting 10 silver for that. So we're back up to 90. Oh, there is a chub order, and we do have one. That's a huge order, 89 silver. And so we got 40 more. So we have more than paid for the lure at this point. Try one more cast over here. And then I'll probably pause it while we're waiting for morning. Since all we can do is spin fish. Now, one thing we could do is we could see if we can afford the stuff for... Oh my goodness, really? You're gonna pop that off? Are you serious? We could see if we can afford the stuff for getting our shovel and cooking started. What is happening? Why are we getting a decent bite rate here right now? Oh, it's a chub. Is it big enough? Or did we just land our second chub for that order? Wait. It was like 1 gram off. It was 2.2 instead of 2.3. But that fish, like we hit it, dropped off, and then hit it again. It was the same fish, I'm pretty sure. He was just determined. All right, so let's spend a couple of minutes before we give up on, before I pause it. I may not need to, because let's see something here. First of all, it's always a good reminder, is the shovel... No. Okay, so here's one purchase. We're not going to do it right now, because we're going to get the other stuff going first, but to be able to get a 3-meter landing net is a huge deal to replace the one you start off with, which is a 2-meter. So keep that in mind. Now, we want to go to the hardware store. Not the workshop, not the grocery store. The hardware store. Shovel costs 38. So, do we have enough to buy a shovel and a tea kettle? 38, 48, 58. And then enough to make a little bit of tea. I think we do. Okay. So count this as our guide to getting your bait harvesting and cooking going. So to be able to start the fire to do crafting, we do need a few matches, which are very cheap, and a little bit of wood, which is also fairly cheap. And now we need to, here's the shovel, hold down U, assign it to number 4, and dig. Now you'll notice what happens to our energy here. Oh, we got a red worm first dig. That is a good sign. Someone just made a very funny comment on one of my videos, like, do you know where I can buy some red worms? I've been digging up the village and can't find them quick enough because red worms are working so good here at Winding right now. It is tough. Now let's hope that tea is in stock somewhere. Yep, there we go. So let's just get... Okay. 3 packs of 10. We're going to go make some tea. So if you notice, my energy is like on red, and it is so slow in coming back. And that's because we don't have our tea crafted yet. to drink to spike our energy back up. And so eventually we'll want to make tea and coffee so that we can do this. Since we have a little bit of time to waste here on the waiting for morning, then we're going to craft some tea. I will show you how to do it, and then I probably will pause the video while I craft all of the tea, because that's just kind of pointless to sit here while crafting. But I want to show you how to get it started at least. So we're coming all the way down here to where camp is. We've been fishing kind of near camp. I still haven't purchased a ticket. I apologize. I need to get a map. Not a ticket, a map of this place so I can show you where we are on the map. All right, so here is the campfire. We want to start a fire with Y, and that uses a piece of wood and one of our matches, and then we want to hit E for crafting. Now, we could make baked potatoes. We don't have any potatoes, so we're going to skip that for now, but we do have tea. So we purchased the tea kettle for 20, and then we purchased some packs of tea, and then you hit make. And you get that fascinating noise. Then you hit OK. We've leveled up our cooking. And we can assign, so if you hold down T, as in the letter T, it brings up all the food you can eat. We can assign T to our number 5 if we want to. Sometimes I just hold down T and click on it. But if you want to do it easier, you can hit it on 5. Then every time I hit the number 5, I'll take a sip of tea. And eventually, I'll have enough energy. As you see, the energy is slowly filling back up. Eventually, I'll have enough energy where I can dig again. And the tea and coffee and other things like that help you get energy back faster so that you can dig more often, level up your bait harvesting more often. Okay, so I'm going to, isn't this pretty though? Nighttime, got the fire going. This is pretty cool. I'm going to craft some more tea, and I'll unpause it once I've crafted all the tea. Okay, welcome back. So it's 3:30 in the morning, but just to show you, we now have 178 portions of tea. So each one of those, so I bought 3 packs of 10, so it's actually like 30 portions, and then each portion made however much. I don't even remember. What would that be, 10? I guess it's like, so we would have 180 divided by 3. Anyway, I think that's right. But so we made a bunch of tea. The other thing about the fire, by the way, if your comfort's ever low, you stand by the fire and that'll bring your comfort up. So we now have a bunch of tea, 178 portions. We can keep digging and building up our red worm supply, which is kind of the main purpose behind all this here. And leveling up bait harvesting, which is actually even more important, because as we level up bait harvesting, we'll get closer and closer to unlocking different baits that will allow us to fish for bream and stuff like that. All right, this right here is a well-known chub fishing spot, along with this spot here. And so even though it's just 4 in the morning, it might be a little early. I thought we would just wander down here and try to get a couple cast in. With it still being so early, like, we can get a little aggressive. If we get snagged, we can always fast travel real quick. All right, quick first cast is a healthy perch there. We're going to hit level 11 in no time if we keep this up. Now, I don't know if that was a lucky perch, but I would say usually around 4:30 to 5 a.m., different fish species are starting to get more active again. And then by 6, 7, 8, you know, you're kind of fully engaging with different fish, with daytime predators. Let's see if we can get another bite here. But that spot I first showed you like a second ago, walking to this spot, and then this spot here, these are often good places to throw in your grasshoppers on feeder rods if you're trying to catch trophy chub. These are some of the spots, along with those places near camp we were at before. Yeah, that first perch must have been a lucky perch. We can try doing this. I think we'll get it on the shore, won't we? Or just close to it? Nah, it wasn't too close. Just make sure we're not getting anything straight across here. I've definitely caught a bunch of chub down in this area though, because I have some strong memories of early days playing RF4, and using like very sort of weak setups because that's all I had. So sort of like this one that we're using here, and the chub just taking off in that direction, and eventually like we're not that far away from the edge of the map here. And so just desperately trying to keep them from swimming off the edge of the map, basically. All right, let's try this one more time, and if nothing, we'll kind of make our way back towards some of our other spots as it's almost 5 a.m. But we are getting amazingly close here to our goal of level 11 spin fishing. Okay, I don't think this is it. Let's wander back this way a little bit. Kind of like this spot here, bringing it sort of back towards us, right through some of these vegetation areas. Just after 5 a.m., hopefully we'll start to see some stuff. Now, there are pike on this map, but they're not like Old Berg pike. I mean, Old Berg, you'll just get some really active pike spots, but there definitely are pike here, and occasionally you can get them. Spinner baits aren't always the best option for pike, but sometimes you'll still run into a pike or two. All right, let's cast straight across here before moving on to another spot. Boy, that looks like a good cast, doesn't it? This is one of the fun parts of spin fishing to me, is you can really just explore the map. In particular, if you have, here at Winding, if you had your feeders out as well with redworm, there's so many little active spots and places you can catch different species. It's just a lot of fun. Okay. Let's see if any other spots stand out. I mean, I think from what we've seen today, there's a lot of activity down here around camp. So maybe it's worthwhile just to get back down here and try to, our crafting fire is still going. Speaking of which, we need to remember, this is one thing that's hard about when I'm spin fishing, is to remember to shovel as often as I can. All right. Little perch, little morning 6 a.m. perch. Okay, this is one of the places. Let's give it a try. Okay. Very small perch. cut that cast short just because I was trying to cast just to the right of that, but it slightly went left. We'd like to not get it snagged if possible. Slowing down a little bit here. This should be like ideal time. Can't remember, did we catch a couple of decent things here? This is where we kind of started, right? This is the spot, at least on feeder, where so many good fish have been coming in on redworm. Is it also working well on spinning here? I don't know. Maybe not. $18.5. Wow. I don't know why that went so much further. Was it that little step back I did? All right, this is too slow, yeah. All right. Let's check cafe. I guess I was thinking about fishing over here again. We're so close. I think I'm getting a little impatient feeling. All right. I had to pause it there for a couple minutes, but so it's still 9:36 in the morning. We'll start doing our rounds at different spots here to see if we can find something that'll work. I'm also thinking about going and seeing if there's maybe a secondary lure we could purchase, maybe with some different colors on it. Just kind of switching back and forth in some of these spots might be interesting. as we make this final approach here. I guess let's just go ahead and speed up our retrieval a little bit again too. Oh, what is that? Little micro chub. I mean, we're down to our last, what, 1.2 thousand XP we need. Love to see the red worm there. All right, so the different spinner baits. Let's see what we've got here. So the ones I was telling you about that I really like are the Achillas. So the Achilla 4 grams, that would be these. You see some are sold out. This 4 especially is one of the really nice ones. And but there's some other good ones too. We could do an Achilla. Those are 25. Here's the Hornets. I have the 5. I would also recommend the 8. The 1. The 6. 9. Actually, all of them, but 3. And then the number 1, I would say, overall, is going to be the Spiker. And believe it or not, they're pretty much all in stock, even the 18. 17, 18 tends to be the best one. You'll see a lot of records on the 16 as well. And then a lot of these other ones can be super good too. But these are expensive. And it's hard to pass on the 18. It's such a like all-purpose one. But the 16 one, in recent times, I feel like the 16 is doing just as well though. So, I mean, we don't have silver right now, but those are some of the other lures that we could look at. Now, if we sold all of our fish, we still would not have we might have enough. Do we have enough for, we could just do an Achilla if we can't afford the Spiker. All right. Let's try the Spiker 16. All right, so now we have a Hornet 5 and a Spiker 16. There's just no excuse. These are some good lures we've got. All right, you love to see you throw the new lure in. First cast, we get a big fat perch on there. I mean, this is a nice perch. Watch out. Is this going to hit us, actually? Over a kilo. Wow. Wow. So next decent fish, decent size fish, hits a level. How did the big one drop off and then we catch the small one? That's not very nice. Yeah, next reasonably good fish, we probably hit level 11 here. Congrats to MTSC2 for hitting 100% bottom fishing. Your tutorial is over. You can now start bottom fishing for real. Oh, I don't really want to level up on one of those like non-marker fish. It's just kind of embarrassing. But we'll take it any way we can get it at this point. Oh, look at this. Getting really close now. Alright, I'm gonna try the Hornet again. There it is. If we can get it in, this is it. We don't really want it going that way on us. It's gonna be a nice fish if it's a chub or a perch. Ooh. It's a perch, right? Wow. Wow, that is a big perch. Hold on, that did not level us up? Are you kidding me? Oh no, this leaves us very vulnerable to leveling up on a like 100-gram chub or something. Do we care? No, we don't care. We'll just catch the fish. I just totally called that. So embarrassing. Okay. So glad we did it. So I wasn't sure. I didn't want to like say, but I thought this might have been the reel. That's why I was looking at it in the store. I was like, wait, is that what we're gonna get? So we get this Arrow Hydra 11.5-pound line and a throwaway lure. I mean, it's fine, but this isn't going to be like a superstar lure, but it's reasonable. Okay, so here we go. So just for fun, let's take a look at this. Put our lure on there. So it's up to 5.2. So we could put a little stronger leader, have a little more power in this setup. Oh man, I'm excited about this new setup we have. Holy cow. Look how nice this looks. So somebody will have to remind us. I think if you're bottom fishing or float fishing, don't you get a telescopic rod, like a float rod? Not only is this just a nicer thing, I think it actually costs, it's like worth more as well. That's funny. What am I doing? Oh yeah, I was gonna go see if they have any leaders. So technically we could go up to what? Right at 5 on leader size. At least for a little bit we could. Let's see. Leaders, classic leaders, fluorocarbon. 5.4 is a little much. But we could do it. We can make it work. Is there something here? Nah. Okay, so just in case we want to do this, this is where it is worth your time and money to be able to craft your own leaders. Now, we're not going to get into what that's like in this episode, but eventually we will. So the test here is 3 to 10.5. We go up to 5 load capacity, and just overall a very, very fun setup here. Let's see if we can catch one more fish today to celebrate our new setup. So this was the gift we got for hitting level 11 while spin fishing. If I didn't make that clear, that's what just happened. And the other thing we've been doing is not only spin fishing, but in this episode we focused on starting our cooking and bait harvesting leveling up by purchasing the shovel and the tea kettle and doing a little crafting. So we will continue to talk about that and focus on that moving forward. Now that we have 2 spin fishing setups, by the way, we could troll Mosquito. Do we go do that just so I can show you what it looks like to troll Mosquito? Because see, I just don't know if I'll remember another episode. So let's just go do it really quick. This isn't turned into kind of a long episode, but oh my goodness, here we go. All right, so we want to be careful on pushing our friction brake up too much because we do have more power on this setup, but it's not set up perfectly. So we want to be a little cautious on it. But this is going to be so fun. This is actually the setup we're going to use at Belaya. And I'm going to go ahead and put a point into fishing with a spinning rod. It will give us a little bit more casting, a little bit more control. I don't normally do that, but because I'm feeling spin fishing a little more in this episode, or in this series, I'm still going to focus on bottom, but we'll do a little bit more spinning than usual. All right, 12 more silver. We're going to Mosquito. Now, this is how you troll. This is going to be your first introduction to trolling, at least in this leveling guide. All right, so here's our boat over here. So let's get stuff set up first of all. We are going to once again use our second. So this is the spinning setup that we have been using. I'm going to set it back up so you can see what it looks like. All right, so here's our two lures, our two star lures, and our two spinning setups. And I just love this new one we got from the free gift. The arrow, that is such a cool. And if you want to put that setup together, if you did not get it as your gift and you're already past that level, it's really not that expensive of a setup. You get a little bonus to XP. It's just a perfect little setup to have some really fun fights at Belaya, in my opinion. Okay, so we want to go to the boat station and get a 1-day boat ticket. Costs us 3.5 silver. Boat tickets will cost you a lot more at lakes and oceans and such in the future. But thankfully here at Mosquito, it's very, very cheap. And I'm thankful for that because it's actually not the best place to troll. But we'll see if we can catch a fish or two real quick. So we came out on the boat. If you just start like hitting W to move forward, the engine will start taking you forward. Or you can hit S to slow down the engine. But just per normal, we're going to use the numbers to pull our rods out. We'll cast them out, make sure our friction brake's not too high, and then also make sure that we close the bail. Then if you hit 0, you'll put them in the little boat rod holder so you can kind of see where this is going. Cast this one in this direction, get our retrieval speed up just to make it easier for us. Close the bail, make sure the friction brake's not too high. Hit 0 to put that one down over there. Now, if you notice on the upper right hand part of the screen, we're going to hit J for trolling mode. We are now moving forward at a trolling speed, and we have a chance of catching fish on either of our spinning setups while trolling. So this one already has a fish. So I'm going to hit J to stop trolling. It's not that big a fish, but I don't want to be working against it, especially with this little setup we've got. So with that bite rate being that quick, it does give me hope that maybe it gives me a thought that we could have maybe done this. Look how nice this perch is. We could have maybe done this if we wanted to. Instead of leveling it up at winding, maybe we could have just trolled Mosquito, but we'll see how long it takes us to get the second fish, and then we'll go ahead and wrap this overly long episode 4. Wrap it up. I'm just so excited about our new spinning setup. I don't want to stop fishing right now. And we've got these two like killer lures that are just waiting to go to Belaya. But trolling is a lot of fun. And especially by the time you get to Quarry Lake, it's definitely something that if you're into trolling, there's all kinds of good fishing you can do at Quarry by using this technique. This little John boat's pretty cool though. This Mosquito John boat. Now we're seeing a little bit more patience being required here. Oh, there we go. A little nibble. This is probably a more accurate description of what the bite rate's going to actually be like here. That a little chub maybe? Very small chub. making some turns here, see if we can't find another fish. Several leveling series ago, I did a little bit of trolling at Mosquito for some reason, and I remember hitting this huge eye that we just had to like chase for a while. But that's definitely not the like typical experience. Usually it's pretty slow, and a lot of the fish you'll catch aren't that great, but it's fun though. If you've got a couple of spinning setups, it's a good way to mix things up a little bit, try out different lures. But even this, with how long we're waiting between bites, if you think about us fishing at Winding, we were catching fish a lot more quickly than this typically. So the idea of trolling is it actually should speed up your bite rate, not slow it down. And in this case, I think at Mosquito, it probably overall slows it down too much. But it's fun. All right, there we go. One last fish, it looks like. Hopefully we can get it in before we hit the ground here. The nice thing when you're trolling, you can still control the direction that the boat's going in, which is kind of cool. All right, there we go. Let's see, big money, another 198. So we finished this episode with 13 silver. However, we've purchased tea, we've started our crafting, cooking, our shoveling, our bait harvesting, and most importantly, we got our Arrow S60L Hydra Smart 25S. Brand new spinning setup that we are very excited about. Before I forget, let's go ahead and disassemble this one again. And that will do it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.